NXT TakeOver WarGames takes place this Saturday night in Los Angeles, California at the Staples Center one night before Survivor Series, and this is the first NXT TakeOver in Los Angeles, and I think they should have just gone with the Los Angeles name, even though it's going to be a WarGame show. This is the second WarGame show, but I don't know. I think for the first time in Los Angeles, it should have been a bigger deal. I think they should have branded it bigger. You know, it's Los Angeles, California. It's the second biggest city in America. It's WWE's second biggest market. They always do big shows in Los Angeles. I think they should have called Los Angeles because this should feel like a bigger deal. And I almost feel like the first Los Angeles show might have been better to take place at WrestleMania if they do a WrestleMania in Los Angeles. So I don't know. I felt like the scope should be a bit bigger. It shouldn't just be called WarGames. I think something with Los Angeles would make more sense. But they show us 4 matches this year, which is great, because it'll give everyone more time. You have 4 matches I think are all going to be great. I think all 4 matches are going to be excellent. And I like, sometimes in NXT, they add a 5th match. I sometimes think the majority of the shows would actually be better with just 4. I feel like they give one matchup not too many people care about too much time. It's usually a non-title match, but here you have 4 matches everyone is going to love. I think the weakest match is probably going to be the NXT Championship. But the other 3, I think, are all going to be absolutely out of this world. Like, when you think of the way WarGames was last year, if they have a match as good as that, geez, this might be the greatest show of all time, because I think Alistair and Johnny and the women's match, everything's going to be fantastic. So let's talk about each match. You have Johnny Gargano versus Aleister Black. So they did the whole Aleister Black being attacked storyline. They had it set up for months in NXT. Who attacked Aleister Black, who forced him to miss the show in Brooklyn, the 4th Brooklyn show when he was supposed to wrestle in a triple threat with Ciampa and Gargano. And they got changed to Ciampa and Gargano in the last man standing. Aleister Black was attacked by Johnny Gargano, and they had women involved, they had Candice LeRae involved, and they had Nikki Cross involved. I don't know if Nikki Cross will make a run. I hope we don't see Nikki, and I hope we don't see Candice. Even though I like Candice LeRae, I think it's better just to leave them out of this. Let these two just tear it up. I want to see them just have an excellent match, and it's interesting how they're going to approach this. If they're just going to go and have a brawl, which would make more sense, but these two in the ring, my God, you can see just this classic wrestling match. As to who wins, so I might be wrong here. He always loses. He always seems to lose big matches. He's lost every TakeOver match except the New Orleans match against Ciampa. But I'm going to go and say Johnny Gargano defeats Aleister Black. I don't think Aleister Black is long for NXT anymore. I think you'll see him on the main roster. It's possible he debuts in the Royal Rumble. It's very possible. So that's when we first see Aleister Black on the main roster. Or if he won't debut in the Royal Rumble, I think we might see him the night after WrestleMania. I think Aleister Black is going up very soon. And Johnny Gargano could go up soon too, but I think they just turned him heel. I think they're going to get behind him as a heel, and I really think his future is reforming the tag team with Ciampa. Him and Ciampa go up as a tag team on the main roster. I think that's what they're going to do. I think that's the direction for Johnny Gargano, and I think that's why he's going to beat Aleister Black. I'm picking Johnny Gargano to win this match. It will be a great match. It'll be heel way for sure. It could be Candice involved. I hope, like I said, I don't want Candice involved. I don't mind if she gets involved in the finish. I just don't want her and Nikki just to brawl during the match. I could see something where she turns heel too, but I'm predicting Johnny Gargano. I think it'll be a heel win. It'll be a cheap one. It'll be a fantastic wrestling match. It'll just be a war. It could be something where he throws him into an exposed turnbuckle or something, but I'm picking Gargano in this match. The next match, a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT Women's Championship. This is, I think, the 4th big match they've had. They've had several matches overall. I think they've had a few on NXT TV for sure. And Baszler's won them all, I think. But I think Kairi Sane's won more. She's won the bigger matches until recently. Kairi Sane, the first time they had the first match was the Mae Young Classic, the finals of the Mae Young Classic. Kairi Sane won that one, and then they had a couple encounters on NXT television, if I'm not mistaken, and Shayna won them both. Baszler beat Sane, she choked her out a couple of times, and then their next big one was NXT TakeOver Brooklyn a few months ago when Baszler lost the NXT title to Sane. So Sane, she beat her in the major matches. She beat her in the Mae Young Classic, and then she beat her to win the title, and they had a fantastic match on the Brooklyn show. I thought that was great. I love that match. I thought it was just a great, great match. Then they had another match at Evolution, which was not as good. It was still a good match. The match ahead of Evolution was really good, but like it didn't touch, I thought, the previous match. In that match, Shayna Baszler won. Baszler finally beat her in a major match. The 4 horsewomen got involved. I think you'll see see them involved again. I think you'll see Marina Shafir, and I think you'll see Jessamine Duke. It's interesting. Are the WWE's 4 horsewomen going to be in attendance? Probably not. I don't expect to see any of them there. I think they're going to do that match. I don't know when they're going to do that match. It'll happen. I'll guarantee you, I'll bet money you'll see that match happen in WWE one day. I don't know if now's the time. Because Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke, they're not good. Like, haven't been training for long. I don't think Shayna's that good in the ring either, and Ronda still has her flaws. So the 4 of them together, that match, I don't know. I mean, they'll practice in the Performance Center about 2 million times. I've heard some people think WrestleMania because Ronda and Charlotte's happening at Survivor Series. I think it's Ronda and Becky at WrestleMania. I think the Horsewoman match will happen, but not now. I think it could happen maybe next year Survivor Series. It should happen in the Survivor Series, but in a year from now, in 2019, maybe they're all ready, and eventually we'll see it, but it's not happening now. And I think I don't think they'll get involved in this finish. I think Shayna's going to win. It's going to be 2 out of 3 falls. How I predict this goes is it obviously goes. It could be a 2-fall win for Shayna. They could surprise us. They do that sometimes a bit more now. Before it was always 3. Always goes to the 3rd fall. It could go to just a 2-0 sweep. I'm gonna say Shayna wins the first fall with a chokeout. Or, you know what? I'm going to say Sane wins the first fall with the disqualification. I think Shayna chokes her too much. I'm going to say, like, Shayna wins the match, the fall, like she chokes her up, but she won't let go, and then Sane wins a DQ. And I'm going to predict Baszler wins the second fall and the 3rd fall. So I'm going to say Baszler wins. I think it'll be a big win for her. I think Bianca Belair is next in line. They just put the belt back, and I don't think she's losing it. But I definitely want to see the EST. I want to see her get her title run. She deserves it. I'd like to see her win the title. Next, the NXT Championship. Tommaso Ciampa against the Velveteen Dream. This could be an upset. They could go with the Velveteen Dream here. I've heard some people speculate they're going to have him win. I'm going to say, this is tough. At first I was thinking Ciampa's going to win for sure. Now, I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to go here. I think the Velveteen Dream's still a bit green. He's not a great worker yet. I don't know. They could do this here. I don't know. This is very difficult for me. Wow. This is a tough match to predict. I'm going to say Ciampa retains, but I could be wrong. I want the Velveteen Dream to win. I think it'd be cool to see him win, but I'm going to say Ciampa retains. So I think this will probably be the weakest. Velveteen Dream's not great in the ring. And Ciampa, I wouldn't say he's as good as Gargano. So he's a great worker, but I don't think he's at Gargano's level. But I think the Velveteen Dream, again, he's a good wrestler, but he's not great, and I think this will still be a really good match. I think Alistair Black and Johnny Gargano tear up. I think a 2 out of 3 falls match, they're going to do a lot of stuff there with that. I think they're going to have a great match of war that's going to go long. I think this will probably be the weakest match in the WarGames. It's going to be fucking insane. So I predict this will be the weakest match. I could be wrong. I think they'll have it's not a good match here, but I'm going to say Ciampa retains. I'm picking a lot of heels to win. Yeah, I'm picking all heels. So I'm picking all the heels to win the first 3 matches, the title match, the first non-War Games matches. So I'm going to go with Tommaso Ciampa. I'm going to say he beats the Velveteen Dream. And again, I think they're going to keep the belt on him. The main event, War Games, the War Games match. It is the match I look forward to every year. I love War Games. War Games is probably one of the best stipulations in the whole WWE. Besides the Royal Rumble and the Hell in a Cell and Elimination Chamber, War Games is awesome. I like how we only get to see it once a year. I wish they'd bring it up on the main roster because I think a lot of guys would do great there. I think they should be doing that, but it's a WCW thing. It's not a WWE thing, but we see it in NXT, and that's really cool.
The War Games match, I'm not so sure how the format is going to be this year compared to last year. Last year was different. You had 3 teams of 3. This year you have the traditional 4-on-4. And last year what you did was you had 3 guys start kind of like a triple threat, and then you had each team had 2 guys locked up in cages. I hope we don't get that this year. I want traditional War Games like WCW. That's the War Games I love. So I hope it's like two guys start, and whoever wins, the coin toss or something, gets to have their guys come over. Probably be the Undisputed Era who will win the coin toss. This match is going to be fantastic. It's going to be tough to top last year's, but I think it's these guys with the 4 guys in there on one team, the other 4 on the other team, they can easily top it. It's going to be fantastic. So for the Undisputed Era, you have Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Roderick Strong. So Bobby Fish has returned. The 4 of them are reunited, and they won last year. I don't see them winning this year. I'm picking them to lose WarGames. I see the team of Pete Dunne, Ricochet, and the War Raiders, Hanson and Rowe. I got them winning. I got the babyfaces winning this. I could be wrong, but one of the main things is because Undisputed Era won last year, I think they're going to lose it this year. And also where they're going, I think they're going to push Ricochet heavily, and I think the War Raiders are going to get a big push too, and I think they're going to get the tag team titles. I think it makes more sense. I think, Pete Dunne, they have big plans for him in the UK. I think it makes more sense for the babyfaces to win. I think, it's going to be interesting because the Undisputed Era is going to be extremely over. It's in Southern California. If you know anything about Southern California, PWG is huge there, and all 4 of the Undisputed Era were all big stars with PWG. In particular, Roderick Strong was huge with PWG, if I remember. So those 4 guys are going to be very over. Adam Cole is always very over. I think the fans, I hope they don't turn too much on the babyfaces, but you could see a situation where you see the other 4 get booed because it's Southern California. It's a huge independent wrestling base there. I think they're going to be all full out in force for the show. So it'll be interesting to see where the crowd reaction goes here. I am a fan of both teams. I like all 8 guys in this match. I just want to see a great match. It's going to be another great match. I think it'll be similar. You have the 2 rings, you have the giant cage without the roof. And the traditional WarGames, you have the roof. I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing a roof. I think it'd be kind of cool. I'd actually like to see the roof. They probably won't do that, but I would like to see. I think it'd be cooler if they're already doing the traditional WarGames. So this is, again, WarGames is one of the matches. I think it's kind of like the Royal Rumble now with me. I look forward to it every year no matter who's in it. It's always a fun match to watch. Loved watching it in WCW, and I'm sure this will be no different. Last year it was fantastic. I think this could be even better. So that's my predictions for WarGames 2. I have to say, the show will probably be better than Survivor Series, but the Survivor Series card is pretty damn great. Always TakeOver is the better show that usually blows it away, and I think it'll probably be the better show, but I don't know if it's going to blow Survivor Series away, because Survivor Series has a very good card. So, just to recap, I have the babyfaces Pete Dunne, Ricochet, and the War Raiders beating the Undisputed Era. I have Ciampa retaining his title. I have Johnny Gargano beating Alistair Black, and I have Shayna Baszler retaining her title against Kairi Sane. So that's my predictions for NXT TakeOver WarGames 2. Should be another great show.